Good morning. Good morning from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And today we're going to talk about a core tenet of this channel, which is cheap retirement. We're going to talk about how much it's cost me to stay here, not on vacation, but living in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. We'll look at various aspects of cost of living. We're going to look at what my housing cost has been, and we're going to look at what transportation and food cost has been, entertainment, and I'll show you some examples of these as well. So throughout the video, I'll be showing you some pictures and some video clips, giving you an idea of, examples of these things that we're discussing. Also, we're going to talk about what it would have cost me if I had stayed back in my home country, what it would have cost me for these things of housing, transportation, food. So let's enjoy the park and let's have a discussion about cost of living, retiring cheap, and living cheap in Malaysia. Ooh, I love that waterfall back there. It's so beautiful. This park has several waterfalls throughout it. There's also a lot of great places just to sit and relax. This is my morning walk, so this is my exercise time. Okay, let's talk about housing. What am I paying for housing here in Malaysia? I have a hotel room, and it is not a fancy hotel room. It is also not a bad hotel room. I'm going to show you video of it so you can see what it looks like. And it comes with everything you can imagine. It's got a nice remodeled bathroom. It's got air conditioning, everything you can normally expect from a hotel room. It also comes with utilities. It comes with Wi-Fi included. It comes with cleaning. You don't have to get the cleaning every day if you don't want. The hotel has security cameras and a 24-hour front desk. At night, the whole building gets locked up, and there's a code to get inside the building. So you have multiple layers of security and security systems. And the cost, it costs $12 a day. Now there is a $2 charge that has been added on. I don't know if that's seasonal. I don't know if that's something that's just like right now, you got to pay an extra $2, but there was $2 more per day. Probably a fee. We do the same thing in my home state of Hawaii. There's like a state fee that gets added onto hotel rooms. So that makes $14 a day. So I'll put up here the cost so you can see it. That's what it's costing me for 1 month to stay here in Malaysia, in the beautiful city of Kuala Lumpur, right in Bukit Bintang, which is like the central area where there's restaurants and things to do. And it's just a wonderful part of the city. And remember, for that price, okay, you're getting your utilities paid for, your Wi-Fi paid for, and with my cell phone, I just leave it on airplane mode when I travel. So I just use Wi-Fi for everything. So I'm not paying for any kind of data cost, and I get the cheapest plan possible just to kind of like hold the number and things like that. So that's a pretty good savings. Now, what would it have cost if I had stayed back in my home state? Okay, well, this is what I would be paying monthly if I'm fortunate, okay? Because the reality is, if you can pay $2,600 for rent, you're doing pretty good in Hawaii. If you're around $3,000, that's pretty normal. And when it comes to a mortgage and you start paying property taxes and insurances and homeowners associations and utilities and et cetera, maintenance costs, I mean, you're going to go way over that. You're going to go into the $4,000 or $5,000 a month range. And look, that's just ridiculous when you're retired, If you're working, if you have multiple incomes coming into the household, that's one thing. But retired to pay that, that's crazy. I'd much rather just be overseas, enjoying myself, living a healthy lifestyle, and saving myself thousands of dollars a month. Back in my home country, probably the second biggest expense was transportation. And the reason for that is not only are you looking at the cost of owning a car, where you have a payment, you have insurance, which always goes up, you have registration and taxes for the state that you're in, they always go up. You have the cost of fuel or maybe electricity to charge it, okay? All of that. You pay for all these things. Furthermore, you have to have a place to park it. So a lot of times, if you are in a condominium, especially in a very congested area, you're gonna pay extra for a place to park that car. So it's just a very high expense, and these days with the cost of new vehicles, you're looking at $500 to $1,000 a month? That's insane. That's ridiculous, okay? Now, of course, when I was living in the US, I saved money by having things like used cars or less expensive cars, and that helped. But the reality is the cost just goes up and up. And the cost of vehicle ownership is never gonna come back down, okay? So for me, being overseas, especially being here in Malaysia, I have not needed a car at all. I sold my vehicle before I left the US. And now I just use, if I need it all, public transportation, or I walk, okay, like I am today. One thing I will definitely say about Malaysia is it has an outstanding public transportation system. There are multiple levels of railway to get around. You have monorails, you have lightweight rail systems, and you've seen these in my videos if you've watched. I've used the monorail to get around the city quite a bit. The lightweight rail system, which is like the next step up, I took that out to Batu Caves. That has like kind of, it does like big shots, okay? And then the rail system, like the train actually, I took that from the airport into the center city. And these cost between 50 cents, $2, and the rail system that went from the airport to the city, that one cost, I believe it was $12. So there's absolutely no need to have a vehicle while you're out here. I've also noticed that not only do you have all these different kinds of rail systems, but there are buses everywhere, going everywhere. Now there's apps that you can download so that you can keep track of where buses are, and you can get a better understanding of how to utilize them. For me, like I said, I have a tendency to walk. Another thing that I've noticed, which is kind of interesting about Kuala Lumpur, are these things right here. These little zip around scooters, they're everywhere. And I've seen them all over. I have not rented one myself. I don't think it's something I want to zip around on. I just rather walk. But if this is something that would benefit you, if this is the way you like to get around a city like this, they are everywhere. You see them in groups, but then you also see them individually around. And I've seen a couple of vehicles going around that are picking them up and doing like maintenance and stuff. So it's a big thing out here. You can also rent scooters. And another thing that I've seen for rent out here are those fat tire bicycles. So I've seen those out here too, okay? So you have a lot of options when it comes to not having a vehicle of any kind. And for me, I walk, I use the railway systems if I want to make a big jump across town, and it works perfect. So savings on vehicles, transportation, as compared to the mainland, I'm easily saving myself $500 a month for that alone, which really helps when you're living lifestyle retired. The next thing that I want to talk about is food, because food costs can get high. And of course, one of the things that I've talked about on this channel is that when you retire, you have to stay active. And when you stay active and you're exercising every day, you're getting out and walking, you get healthier. A big part of that is also cutting back on how much you're eating, and this will save you money. But while I'm here in Malaysia, I have to tell you, the cost of food has been fantastic. I have found fresh juices that cost just a little over $1. Let me show you this one cart that I came across, and I took some video of it. This is what you can get any day of the week. This is beetroot and celery. Let's give it a try. Oh, that's really good. That's great. During the daytime, there's a lot of these food carts that you can eat at for all the workers here in Kuala Lumpur. And then you also have a nighttime food court as well. You find them throughout the city. This is a city that people, you know, are up late, even at 2, 3 in the morning. If you go out of your hotel room and kind of just go to the front of the hotel, you see people are out and about. You can hear music playing from different establishments. So, you know, it's a big city that has nightlife. And for that reason, you can find a bite to eat, and the cost of food is not bad at all. I'm finding meals for about $2 to $5 each, okay? Now, every once in a while, if you go to some fancy place, you're gonna pay more, there's no doubt. In fact, you'll find Western prices. But I have been to some really great restaurants, great Chinese restaurants, all of it. And I don't think I've gone over $5 a meal yet. What would my food costs be back in my home state? If I tried to budget for $20 a day, that would probably be effective. I could probably get it to about $600 a month. I can tell you that while I'm overseas, I try to budget for half of that, for $10 a day. But since I've been here in Malaysia, I don't think I've hit that once. I don't think I've spent $10 for a meal once. There was a video that I worked on where I went to a couple of nightlife locations. And yeah, you're gonna spend more than $10 if you start going into the nightlife situation, all right? But other than that, just on an average day of eating different meals and even buying street food, I don't think I've hit $10 any day. I'm not sponsored by any kind of travel medical insurance program or anything like that. But I know that you can get travel insurance for about $100 a month. That covers you pretty darn well for illnesses and emergencies, things along those lines. Another thing you can get very cheap overseas is dental work. Now, I have a tendency to get any and all dental work done while I'm in Thailand. That's one of the reasons why I cross through Thailand about twice a year. I like to get my dental cleaning, things like that. Any type of work I need done, I get that all taken care of here. But the cost of dental work, the cost of healthcare in Southeast Asia in general is fantastic. This is a good workout today. Look at this stairwell behind me. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna get a good workout. Let's talk about other things that you might buy while you're overseas, compared to the costs of being back in your home country. For me, clothing is very expensive in my home country. I worked very hard to actually keep my costs down for clothing. I would wear very basic items like jeans that I would get at discount places and just black t-shirts, very simple look, you know. But when you're overseas, you can actually get clothing at a great price. Here in Malaysia, I am finding so many different markets that are selling your shirts, your pants, your shorts, all kinds of different tennis shoes and slippers and all of that. Sunglasses, baseball caps. You can get everything very inexpensive. That's something you don't think about. But imagine going out and getting an outfit. Let's say you get an outfit every month. That's 12 outfits a year, which I don't. Don't get me wrong. I don't go out and spend that kind of money on clothing. But if you did, if that's part of your lifestyle, you're gonna spend a lot of money when you're in the States. You're gonna go to malls and you're gonna go to clothing stores and it's gonna cost you. But out here, if you wanna go get yourself an outfit at one of these markets, just go. That's one of the reasons why I say to people, when you come to Southeast Asia, bring empty bags with you. Wear an outfit on your body and everything else should just be empty, because you're gonna leave with all that stuff. You're gonna buy all your clothing here super cheap. Your favorite tennis shoes, your name brand stuff that you enjoy. You'll find all your shirts and slacks. You can also have things custom made as well. That's all very cheap out here in Southeast Asia. Anything that you might need as a student overseas, or if you're doing some kind of a social media like I am, you're gonna need things like adapters and storage cards, and you're gonna need tripods and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna tell you, The cost overseas is fantastic for all those type of things. Maybe you call them like student items that you might need. Any type of backpack, any kind of tripod, anything that has to do with cameras at all, including a lot of hardware costs. A lot of your electronics are very cheap overseas as well. I'm not a person that buys a lot of electronics, but yeah, you can save a lot of money. In my retirement, it's been so important to keep my cost of living low, and Southeast Asia has allowed me to do that. This has given me a couple of $1,000 difference in my cost of living every month. That's huge when you're retired. Just to have a house, just to have a place to live in alone has been over a $2,000 a month savings by traveling through Southeast Asia. And the cost of not having a vehicle, that's just more money in your pocket every month. So I do recommend that you start coming to Southeast Asia, start with 2 weeks, 1 month, start getting familiar, because if you're looking for a place to retire cheap, you're going to find it out here, and it's going to save you money. The advantage to that is that every month, instead of being broke or having to use your credit cards to survive, you have a surplus of money. And that allows you to invest that so that you stay ahead of inflation and that you're able to build your retirement over time. You're not taking from your retirement, but you're actually growing your retirement because you have a little bit left every month that you can go out and buy something to invest in, okay? Stocks, bonds, treasury bills, whatever it is that you like. That will keep you retired so that you're not having to fall back on money that you hoped you didn't have to spend in retirement, okay? That's only gonna happen if you stay under your means. You wanna live under your means. I'm glad we had a chance to talk about the cost of living here in Kuala Lumpur, a beautiful modern city, but a place that I have found is very affordable to live. And we've had a chance to go over the different transportation costs, room costs, food costs, so you get a better idea of what it's costing me while I'm staying here. This is the reason why I've been able to retire early, is because I've cut down my cost of living. That's the only reason why. I appreciate you spending some time with me, and we will talk again soon. We are traveling throughout Southeast Asia for the whole year, so come along with. Subscribe and let me know in the comment section if there's anything that I left out. Is there a particular about cost of living that you're concerned with? Because I love interacting on the comment section. Let me know, and I'll work on trying to get you a price to let you know what that costs here, at least in Malaysia while I'm here. Other than that, have yourself a great week, and I will talk to you again soon. Aloha. Thank you. Ooh, that looks good right there. This is paprika chicken with some nice vegetables and some rice. Thank you. Thank you. Look at that right there. Look at that fried chicken. There he is, the mad cat of Malaysia, on the prowl, a vicious beast, bloodthirsty, looking for the next victim.